here in Florida, so let's go ahead and show you how to just do something really simple, not to spend any money really. I'm just using a little cottage cheese carton and I'm adding holes to it, and I'm just using a wine opener to do that. Try to space out the holes, because if you don't space out the holes, you're going to break your container. And honestly, the key is just not to overwater your plant, so you really want to make sure you don't have too much of a heavy hand, because then your holes wouldn't have to be that big. Alright, that's a good hole. Ooh, maybe that's too big of a hole. Alright, so that's good for now. And I'm going to go ahead and cut that little extra piece of plastic that I got in here so that I can stand straight. There we go. Alright, so that's ready. And these are just beginner pots. That's why I don't want to waste money on them, because you're going to come out of these pots after they get strong enough on their own. And on a side note, I have a ton of coffee in my system. Okay, I'm so excited. Here we go. See, I broke this container. It might still work actually, but I don't want the soil to come out too much. I got this soil at the dollar store, this much for $1. Hi Saeed, we're planting an avocado tree. I'm from Florida. Okay, this is where when you want to put your gloves, because as you can see, my hands are going to start getting dirty. I do have gardening gloves, but you can even use dishwashing gloves. Those work just fine as well. I honestly don't even remember where I put my gardening gloves, so I am going to go ahead and use dishwashing gloves. Alright, so I'm so excited. I've been wanting to do this for so long. Nice to meet you as well. So the key to gardening is you want to save as much soil as possible. That's why I started a compost bin. I'll bring that in to show you. It's cool, and it's going to give my plants a lot of nutrition. So soil, when you buy soil, it tends to be dried out, so we want to make sure that we wet this soil before we put a seed in it. Alright, voila. Have our first little pot of soil. And then don't forget that because we put holes in it, before you water it, especially if you're doing this indoors, just Put it in a pot so the water doesn't go all over the place. A drug? We're planting an avocado seed. So the beauty of having a sink in my room is I can just water my plants here. Alright. So once you have watered the soil, we're going to put our gardening gloves back on. I like your work and I want just to listen to you speak English. Oh, that's so nice. Thank you. Please come back and I'll keep speaking English just for that. Oh, that's very good. I actually watch Russian streams just so that I can learn Russian. So that's a good idea that you're doing that to practice your English. And I do all kinds of streams. So now that we have wet our soil, what I want to do is massage the soil so that it can be evenly watered, that is. So that the seed can be nice and happy in there, because that's where it's going to live for a little while, so you want to make it comfortable. What part of America are you going to be traveling in, Saeed? Oh, I believe I have some Moroccan in me, actually, so that's pretty neat. I hope you guys are enjoying the music. Okay. Okay, so now we have the soil that's nice, wet, and evened out because we did massage it. But I have found now that I have a new concern. I have overwatered my soil. And the thing with overwatering anything is that there can be mold. So we don't want mold in our new seedling. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to add fresh dry soil into it and massage that in. And it's just going to soak right up. So don't put too much of it until we put the seed in there and it's receiving the wet soil, and then cover it with the dry soil because we're going to water it at the end. And now I can go ahead and make a little indent, like kind of like a mini hole, so that the avocado seed can be placed in there. And you can just do that by doing one of these kind of shapes with your fingers and drilling that in. And here we go. We're gonna put our seed in there, and of course let's go ahead and bless this seed. I chose this seed because if it's any seed that you want to plant to save your life one day, it's an avocado seed, because avocados provide so much food, so many healthy fatty acids, so many calories. It's just the fruit that can really save your life. If for whatever reason you need to start a fruit tree garden to save yourself, because you know we're living in crazy times. You never know what could happen. So I highly suggest for everyone to start a seed bank. So this is more valuable than hundreds and hundreds of dollars if we were to be living in the end of times and need to start over again. Money isn't really going to do anything for us. It's going to be seeds and food and shelter, those kind of things. Alright, so I'm blessing this. I'm saying, hello, little avocado seed. I pray that you grow up to be a nice big tree and that you can bless me with all the fruit that you have to offer. And I just really hope that I get the most out of you, and that I can receive love from you also, because, hey, you know, I'm planting you. I'm giving you some life. I'm giving you some sunshine, and I'm going to take care of you so that you can take care of me. Do I share this video on Instagram? I need to start, but I do have an Instagram account. If you want to add me on Instagram, you could just use my name, Cheryl Pastrana. Alright, and so we just literally place the avocado seed in there. And I'm going to cover this with soil. So you want to cover it until you don't feel the tip of it anymore, but you don't want to over cover it because then you're not going to see your results. Alright. And like all things, everything starts in darkness. So before wanting to give it any sunlight, you want to leave it in a nice warm place to germinate. They say you should leave it at about 80 degrees Fahrenheit. So I'm going to go ahead and cover my avocado seed after I finish watering it. And I want to go ahead and water it with the leftover water that we have in there, since it already has soil nutrition. So it's going to be nice, black, murky water from the soil. And it's going to allow me not to overwater the top. It's just the leftover mixed with some soil to give it that nice little extra boost of nutrition. And with that, we're going to cover it with a nice little seal. You can also use saran wrap. And personally, I'm going to add some holes. I don't think you have to, since I already have the holes in the bottom, but just for some extra circulation, I want to go ahead and do that. So, I'm going to go ahead and make those holes. All right. have officially planted our first seed in a cottage cheese jar. And if you don't like the jar, you can always add it. You can always add tape, like colorful tape around it and make it nicer. And then the last thing we have to do is we have to label this seed, because once we start planting a bunch of seeds, we have to remember what seeds they are, because some seeds might need a different type of caring for. So the way that I'm going to do that is I'm just going to get some Scotch tape. Also, plants are known to like music. So if you get lucky, if you played enough music around your house, especially classical music, they say that plants actually grow better and are happy in that type of environment. Listening to complex classical music, or just any type of positive, uplifting music is really nice. So I don't want to cover my holes, so I'm just putting the label on the side. And I'm going to use a Sharpie so that I can write the type of seed that I just planted. Florida avocado. I'll just put Florida avocado. And I also like to put the date, because you want to know how long it's taken. Unfortunately, there are some seeds that will just not sprout, and it might not necessarily be what you had done to it. It just means that it was incapable of germinating for whatever reason. It could have been a defect in the seed. So I'm going to go ahead and put that today's date is the 26th. 2019. And voila, Florida avocado planted today. A brand new seed. And I'm going to go ahead and put this underneath my cabinet here so that it can flourish in some darkness, and then I'm going to check up on it in about a week. I think I'm going to give it, maybe even in 5 days. I'll go ahead and take it out and put it near the sun so that it can start searching for the sun, because that is what a seed does. It eventually wants to sprout, and it goes up to wherever it feels the light hitting it. Some plastic plates so they don't get too wet. And you have to remember to slightly water them in between that process of it germinating. But I did water it enough where I can put an alert in my phone to check up on the water in about the next 2 or 3 days, just because, like I said, you don't want to drown a seedling. And also you have to remember that in the winter it does tend to be a little drier, so I also don't want to dry it out and basically suffocate it in the soil. Alright, awesome. So on to the next one, you guys. Ooh. I'm gonna drink some water. Okay. I am a little coffeeed out, but we're on to the next seed. I really have been wanting to plant a macadamia nuts. It only takes one, and I love macadamia nuts, and they're actually really hard to come by now. So I am dedicated to have a macadamia nut grove, and I want to go ahead and make sure that they can grow here in Florida. So let's go ahead and research that.
Just a little bit. Think I got a fever. Talking about UV rays. Talking about toothpaste. Talking about aspartame. That's part of me. Well, I got a feeling.
Well, it says that they found some here in South Florida.
David Harrell with the Broward Rare Fruit and Vegetable Council, and here to talk about my macadamia tree today. I have thinned this out significantly because it will grow to be very dense. And what you see in there is pitaya growing.
That's dragon fruit.
Two that just flowered. I had a separate video on that. And then I'm also trying to air layer this. That's what this foil is. But in addition to the pitaya, since I thinned it out so much, I was able to put vanilla orchid in there. And that's vanilla orchid right there growing up in the tree. It don't have any flowers on it. There's something going on there. I really don't know what that is. I think it's a flower. The flowers are pretty. They have an orchid flower, long and yellow. It's about 4 to 6 inches. You can see it goes all the way up. And this is a volunteer papaya just grew in there. I have to actually cut it down. But here's the actual nuts. These are actually ready to be harvested because they're starting to split on the outer husk. So there's an outer husk and an inner husk, and then they actually split, and that's how you know when to harvest them. So
My
there
cat's
I got
playing
some
with
in various stages, but you can see they do have a pretty flower. Those are from flower brackets up there. This is a Dana White, which a bull mount, which produces a beautiful pink flower bracket. There's some of the flowers right
That's
there,
very pretty.
and also some smaller macadamias. You can see some small macadamia.
So they do grow in South Florida.
Man, I think I got my fantasy nights mixed up.
Macadamia nuts, fresh off the tree from Florida.
That's
what they
so
look like
awesome.
on the tree.
I'm in love.
That's when they're hanging on the tree. And then this is what they look like after
The
you
wild
take them out of the
flamingo nursery.
shell. See?
Yeah. That's
I mean,
exactly how mine looks like.
This is a macadamia nut tree. You can buy a whole pound of these for $10. All you have to do is crack it open. See, look.
Well, I don't know how he did that because they're really hard to
That's
crack.
what they are.
That's crazy. That's pretty amazing.
1 pound, $10. Make your order now. Bye.
Wow. All right, so it's actually not that bad of a price. They're pretty expensive right now. So let's research how to grow a macadamia seed.
Hi, today we are going to make a video about how to grow macadamia from seeds. And I have plucked several here. This is the shells, very hard to protect the kernel inside it. And this is where they are not hanging on the trees, and this is where we are going to hit with the hammer. If you hit from this side, you'll crack not inside. Some people usually soak the nuts inside the water for overnight before planting, but since this is a stone fruit, so I prefer to crack it. Okay.
So you do have to open it. I was under the
So-
assumption that you did not have to open it.
None of broken. This is my media. This is wooden chips. Before you use it, make sure that you sterilize it. I steamed these wooden chips before, and quite moist. If you can see this. Such as me, you can just put it near your window. That's all.
That's pretty
The
self-explanatory.
roots start to growing, but I'm afraid I cannot plant it in soil media yet. Maybe we have to wait about 7 days more until the root will growing completely strong. Just remember, if you expose the macadamia seed like this, you use quite moist media and store it in the fine place, not too cold and not too hot. Okay, I'm going to close it again. Okay, there you go. Good luck. Oh, I'm going to succeed, I'm sorry. So,
Good luck. That's pretty much what it is. Here we go, another video. Oh, I like this video. How to sprout macadamia seed. Get mac seeds at. Alright, maybe I shouldn't have this video like right up in my face. So he's just going for it. He's putting it in the soil. See, he puts his straight without the without them being cracked, which is interesting. I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna crack it, but I'm still gonna plant it with the shell because the shell's gonna give it some nutrition and it's gonna protect it from mold and stuff like that. So let's go ahead and do that. Ah! All right, so I think I'm gonna go for this bowl. It's a little smaller. And we're gonna do the same thing. We're going to make holes in it so that we can save ourselves some money. Just be careful. I don't want you guys poking yourselves.
macadamia nuts from seeds.
They look
I
really
brought
interesting.
nuts, don't worry. So the first thing that you take care of the seeds, that when you listen to the seeds, you shake it a little bit, you shouldn't hear so much things inside. If you hear, I'm not sure how much the seeds are good for planting. So if you choose the right seeds, the first thing that you do is crack a small crack in the nutshell that it's very strong. After this, you soak it for 24 hours to 48 hours in water. It's in order to help the seeds to get some water in order to crack the nutshell that it's super
I'm not
strong.
doing that because I'm gonna crack the seed.
Okay, so the season to do it, I would say the spring to the summer.
All right. So I
There
have my
isn't
holes.
a major problem. It's a very, very strong plant.
Have my holes, and let's go ahead and just put this in the back burner and play some music.
Don't try me.
And I can see anything. I can't. Hi, Fred. I have no idea what's going on with computer. How old is your computer? Maybe it's time for you to get a new one. So yeah, we have some holes.
I read what he recommends. Read and reread again. And I tell a friend.
Alright, let me go ahead and do a little timeout.
Talking about
Because nobody talks about me and my stream like that. Actually, it's not even worth my time. Anyhow, so we have the holes. We have the macadamia nut. We need to crack the macadamia nut. Meanwhile, I'm also going to eat a Reese's because I'm kind of craving one. Thank you, Speakeasy. He's insane. He comes every single time and he's like, "You're stuck. It's not working." And I'm like, how unusual. Every single time you come, it doesn't work. All right, so we're cracking. Did you hear how loud that crack was? We cracked a perfect little macadamia nut. It looks pretty healthy. I hope I didn't crack the macadamia. It did kind of just crack in half. I don't know if I'm gonna use that one. Yum, 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 yum. Let's use another one. So, due to the volcanoes in Hawaii, these are actually really hard to come by now. So we have to make sure that we preserve them. Okay, I think I cracked this one nice enough. Okay, see? It's probably going to grow from that little hole that I just did, but I'm gonna leave that hole just like that, so that thanks. Because I want this seed to protect the macadamia nut, so I'm not gonna do a full excursion of it. And we're gonna get our pot ready. So here we go. We're gonna put the gloves on again. You're gonna use your bowl to catch the water again.
I like the way you say my name, babe. Yeah, I like the way you say my name, babe.
We're gonna water the soil.
I
Don't
like the way you
overwater
say
it,
my
though.
name, babe.
1, 2, 3 seconds is good enough
Yeah,
of water.
I like the way you say my
3
name.
quick seconds, not Mississippi seconds. Gonna put my gloves back on.
I like the way you say my name, babe.
And I'm gonna give this soil a nice little massage.
The way you say my name, babe.
Nice moist soil is a happy macadamia. We're gonna grab that macadamia. There's no mold on it. It's a nice little white macadamia, and it's going into its new home. I'm gonna place it on its side. And then after that, I'm gonna cover that macadamia with love. Please grow me some really amazing macadamia nuts. I know that I live in Central Florida and it's not as warm as Miami, but please grow.
Who is this idiot walking around? He looks a lot like me in my shorts, staring 1,000 miles
So I just did a nice
into
little
the
covering.
ground. Don't talk to me right
Since
now.
it's not as big as an avocado seed, you don't need that much soil on top of it. Because you want to see the sprouts and then add as much soil as you need after it starts sprouting. Alright, and then that's how you get yourself another seedling planted. Gotta get my scotch tape. I'm so excited to see which ones are gonna grow.
I feel your evidence pinning me down. Who are these idiots in my town? They oughta look like me. Sorted as laws. Don't talk
Okay,
to
I'm gonna label it.
me right now.
I hope this dollar store potting soil works. I am going to start adding my compost, but I want to wait until the seedling actually comes out because I can basically potentially make the seed mold by adding compost that is not mixed with soil. Alright. So I'm going to also cover this one up. It's going to help retain its moisture. There you go. So we covered this one. And it's basically ready to be put in my cabinets so that it can thrive in the darkness and sprouts slowly but surely.
I bet I would be horrified. better when nobody cries. Oh, la la la. It's just something you gotta do sometimes. Oh, la la la. It's just something you gotta do sometimes. I say it tastes so good when it tastes like a piece of wood. I tell you I'm alright when I feel like I'm dead inside. Oh, la la la. It's just something you gotta do sometimes. Oh, la la la. It's just something you gotta do sometimes.
All right. All right, I'm really excited to plant these next 3 seeds here because they should do pretty well here in Florida. The first one is an egg fruit. It's a very unusual fruit, so I would be glad to have it in my tree grove. Then we have a cinnamon apple. Actually, I really want myself some cinnamon apples, so I'm going to go ahead and plant this seed next. I'm going to try to germinate this one in a beginner seedling kit. Do not be aggressive with the nuts. No pun intended. Alright, so I brought these little guys at the dollar store as well. And this is a seed starting mix. I don't know if I'm going to use this because I really don't think it's necessary. I think that soil is just fine.
Looking for no experience.
And the cool things about these is that you can actually pot this in another bigger pot. You don't need to take it out of this because this is pretty degradable. I'll probably try macadamia nut in this as well. I think I'm just gonna try it with this just to see. Maybe it works better. Oh, and I guess I should research how to plant one of these guys, even though most seeds just need soil, darkness, sun, water, and that's why I love gardening, because it's so simple. And it reaps a really great harvest. Maybe Speakeasy can explain to your brain how cursing up a storm about how a streamer's equipment doesn't work when it clearly does. Maybe that's the reason. Alright, so let's see. Alright, what are we gonna do here? Oh yeah, we're gonna go on YouTube. We're gonna look up cinnamon apples. Wow, there's really not a lot of, I don't even think there's a video on how to grow cinnamon apples. I could be the first one. Wow. So yeah, that's simple. Alright guys, so no need for YouTube because I am the first person to this music. Hold on. Okay, so I was looking for videos on how to grow a cinnamon tree apple, and we're not talking about regular apples, sour apples, green apples, red apples. We're talking about cinnamon apples, which actually taste like cinnamon. There's no videos on how to grow these guys. They grow great in a subtropical climate like Florida, and should be able to grow in Central Florida, where I am. So the seed looks like this, and like almost 90% of all seeds, if not all, you just essentially grow them in pots. This isn't a viney type of plant, so we don't need to take a vine and have it grow around a pole or wooden stick like pitaya, also known as dragon fruit. We're just gonna pot it like any other seed, and I'm gonna start it in this little starting pots kit that's biodegradable, so that once it does sprout, we're gonna be able to repot the whole thing into a bigger pot. Hey, Florida. Hi, Slinky Foil. Man, Girl Scout cookies are so good, Speakeasy. So yes, I'm talking to my live chat right now, and I'll put that up while I'm gardening. So here we go. I actually don't even need my gloves for this one because I am going to use this type of mesh that is not really soily. It's more like fuzzy. You might as well use your gloves. It will get me a little dirty, so let's go ahead and put the gloves on. And we're just going to do the same exact thing that we would a bigger pot. We're just going to fill it up a little less than halfway. And we need to wet this just a tad. I guess the difference between regular soil and beginner seed soil is just it's more absorbable, so it's harder for you to drown your seedling. And so now I'm going to use my same bowl to catch the excess water. Really don't want to overwater these. So I just added just a little tad of water in there, and I'm gonna massage that soil with just one finger. And we're just gonna go ahead and add the seed in there. Where did my seed go? Oh no! I have to grab another seed. I can't find it. I have a collection of seeds, but this is a cinnamon apple seed. It has a little bit of a thorn. That's how I can tell. So we're gonna put this right inside of my little beginner kit pot. And I'm just pushing it nice and in. And I'm gonna cover that with some more beginner pot soil. And I'm just gonna water it just a little more. The beginner pot itself is going to absorb any extra moisture in there. And then I'm just massaging the soil around it, making sure that the seed does not get exposed. And since there is a little bit of excess water, I'm just gonna add just a hint more of some soil. Pat it down a little bit, and voila, we have ourselves a cinnamon apple seedling that has been planted. So we're gonna get some nice fruit from it one day, I would hope. Gonna label it, and we're going to follow up with it in the next week or so, see how they've been doing. I'm probably going to do a stream like this every week just so that we can update and see the seedlings grow. Cinnamon apple. 1/26/19. Right. Wish it luck. It's on its journey. Wasn't a huge fan of those little ones. I rather just give it time to sprout out of a bigger pot because it's not going to be as delicate. Once that seedling pops up from the little pot, it's going to be very delicate. So if you are going to transport it, I wouldn't even take it out of the pot. The pot should be decomposable, biodegradable. I don't even know if that was a word before. Decomposable. And I would just cut it kind of so that it can kind of, once the roots start coming in, basically get out of its biodegradable pot. Alright, so we have planted 3 different things. We have planted cinnamon apples, macadamia nuts, and an avocado. Okay. What now? I have a starfruit seed I want to plant. That one definitely needs to go in a small pot because it's a tiny, tiny seed. I'm going to plant 2 of them just in case one of them don't sprout. gonna try using this in regular soil because I wasn't a fan of that weird type of soil that didn't seem like it liked to capture water much. I think it's just meant for people who overwater plants. I don't typically tend to do that.
Put your hands up, keep your head down. Put your hands
I literally just, for these really small pots, I just use a sprinkle of water. I don't turn on the full faucet.
Put your hands up, keep your head down.
And I'm massaging it with one finger,
Put your hands
making a little indent for the seeds to be put in. Adding a little extra soil so it can absorb any extra moisture. We also want to make sure that we're very careful with how much soil we're using because soil can get very expensive really quick. So please make sure to preserve your soil. I mean, just so you can save yourself some money on having to buy a bunch of it. And again, my seed has been lost, and those are the only seeds I have, so I really have to find this one for the star fruit. Here they are. Oh my gosh, I would have easily lost those. Yeah, inside gardening. I'm glad you caught that. So yeah. This is how small the seed is that we're planting. It is dried out. They're so small and delicate that I am going to plant 2 of them in the same jar just because I don't know if it's going to make it. So I'm going to give 2 of them a chance. So I'm going to cover that with some soil in this little cute pot. Catch the extra water. Just a sprinkle, you guys. We don't want to drown the seed. And voila, star fruit has been planted. What's my favorite plants? I don't really have a favorite, but I'm really hoping that my macadamia nut plants that my macadamia nut sprouts because that's going to be a super huge accomplishment for me. I love macadamias. I eat over 10 pounds of macadamia nuts in 3 months. So I'm like a little squirrel. Meanwhile, should I eat a Yorkie or a Reese's? Which one? I think I'm gonna go for the Yorkie. Is that what it's called? A York. I called it a Yorkie. That's so funny. What's your favorite plant? I went to the dollar store and I splurged. I had $50 to splurge on. And when you come out of the dollar store, you feel like you're rich. If you just spent $50 in there. That's where I brought my soil as well. So we're gonna label the starfruit. I don't know if the tape will be as biodegradable, so I am gonna slip that off before I plant it into a bigger pot. Alright, so we've planted 4 things so far. We have 2 more things to plant. Hi Duramax. The chat is just basically you chatting with me, and also we have different platforms that are here live. So we have Twitch platform that you can chat with, and Periscope, and right now I have my YouTube turned off just so there's not a lag, but eventually I'll be having that connected and my Facebook connected so that all my followers can chat together. All right, so I have 2 more pots, so that's perfect. Actually, I have plenty of pots. I have all these seedling pots. And I have 2 more seeds that I'm gonna go ahead and plant. This is an egg fruit seed, and this is a chocolate sapote seed. So here we go. If you need some help on how to get started with your green thumbs, you can always replay this and see how I do it. I'm gonna do it a little faster this time, just so that I can get this done before I need to head out. So here we go, making the holes. Just be careful with any kind of tools you use. Yes, it is my little studio apartment. I do everything in here. I teach yoga, I learn different languages, I play music. I'm actually gonna start doing live house shows live, and I'm gonna start decorating costumes and stuff so that I can pull off a really awesome live music show in here for my followers. I can't wait till I get on that level. I'm also saving up for a hologram machine so I can have holograms and a fog machine, so we can really turn this environment into a really cool stage-like environment. But I do a lot of home, kind of just mellowing out. Gardening is kind of the closest thing I do to DIYs. Actually, that's not true. I do a lot of technological DIYs, like I just learned how to do HTML coding for HTML5, so I can do some videos on that as well. I have to repot my plants, like these plants too. They're getting too big for these pots, and they need new soil. That's gonna be probably done tomorrow so they don't feel suffocated in there. I mean, even these are bigger than those, so definitely need to get them out of there. I just like using this type of size container because then I don't have to bother the seedlings. And I do have to be patient. I'm gonna have to probably wait 2 weeks to see some kind of, at least for the bigger pots. So it kind of bummed me out if I waited 2 weeks and nothing sprouted from any of them. But I did plant quite a good amount of them, so there should definitely be something growing, something brewing. And it's kind of cool to see because that energy is going to be in my room, you know, that energy of like something growing and germinating. That's positive energy. Eventually I want my whole studio apartment, goodness gracious, to have plants in it.
What if it's bad for me? What if I'm getting sick?
Ooh, my neck.
What about once a week?
Did I eat my Yorkie already?
Just a
I keep calling it a Yorkie. It's a York. Goodness gracious. York. I don't know why I was craving something minty, like a minty chocolate, but I'm not really a fan. But I'll still eat it.
Don't mind me, I'm only dead. Don't try me, I'm only dead. There's no me, I'm only dead. I read what the expert says. I read what he recommends. Read and reread again. And I tell a friend, you wouldn't believe this. Talking about cosmic rays. Talking about ppm. Talking about atmosphere. Should I breathe it in? Well, I got a feeling. Oh. Don't mind me. I'm okay. Don't try me. I'm only dead. There's no me. I'm only dead. Don't mind me. I'm only dead. I like the way you say my name, babe. And the way you wake up on a Sunday. Rolling around like two warm animals. Yeah, I hope that you feel the same way. Yeah, I hope that you feel the same way. How much should I be reading into? The way you look at me in your own. And I know that nothing's really permanent. I hope that this doesn't end soon. Yeah, I hope that this doesn't end soon.
So we just planted egg fruit. And these are all fruits that can grow in Florida or a tropical to slightly subtropical climate, as long as you make sure that you cover them over a freeze.
Who is this idiot?
Okay, I've been having this music on repeat for way too long.
Like me.
How's the farmer life going? It's quite interesting. I would have to say that I'm a quite interesting artist.
Into the ground. Don't talk to me right now. I'm all sides.
Alright, we have one last seed to go. It's a chocolate sapote seed.
Call me to say things
I'm gonna plant it in this little guy. Yep, I agree. Oh, that's cool. What have you built? I think I drank too much coffee. You need to stop doing that. Seriously.
Everything keeps on floating. Everyone keeps on posting.
Reese's! Reese's break. This is a farmer life.
I'll take anything that will force me to make up my mind. While
Hey.
you're going back to the habits you had before mine. Try to break it all down. Pretend
This time I'm gonna mix the seed starting potting mix with the regular soil potting mix. Just to see what that combination can do for seedling.
Everyone keeps on posting. Save it for the morning.
Putting the chocolate sapote seed in. And we're covering it with a blend of seed starting potting mix with regular soil. Alright, you guys, we did it. We planted 6 different species of exotic fruit and nuts. Is that a room divider? Yeah. Final seed. Do you ever land that other job you were looking? Was it the teacher job? Because I hope I get it, but I still don't know yet.
Take a seat up at the dinner table. I made a meal just for you. Go and lay up all your problems on me. I never need to ask you to. You come home, you complain, it's like our tradition. I'm breaking my back just to get you to listen. I'll learn to keep quiet, I turn to submission. But you still want more. You clear your head, made you family. Couples therapy. I really did that. All my energy. Give you anything and everything. What more can I do? That's not enough for you. You better pay up. I'm not working for free. I got what you need, but you better pay me. Pay up. After all of this time, you'll be catching these fines. Pay up, pay up. I'm not working for free. I got what you need, but you better pay me. Pay up. After all of this time, give me what's mine. Pay up, pay up. Baby, I'm just so addicted to you. But it's time to cut you loose. what you need, but you better pay me. After all of this time, you'll be catching these fines. I'm not working for free, I got what you need, but you better pay me. After all of this time, give me what's mine.
Alright, so if I grow these 6 plants, that's 6 different species I have to take care of in addition to my other plants. So definitely is a responsibility when you're gardening. Eventually I'm going to add a hose to this sink so I can just water all my plants indoors.
Are you really that offended, baby? Well, you should have given more. Did you feel let me get you this fine. I'm not working for free. I got what you need, but you better pay me. After all of this time, give me what's mine.
It's time to clean up. I love how my cat's just chilling on the soil.
I can't stop thinking about how we could be. Just can't stop running my mind in my sleep. The world I wanna take hold of puts weight on my shoulders, and I just want you to know that I'm gonna stay sober for you, for you. I wanna stay sober for you.
Alright.
For you, I wanna stay sober for you, for you. I know you're feeling like I'm in my head all the time. 'Cause when you tell me about you, your day to day, I don't hear none. I'm busy thinking about how I'm gonna keep us going on. While you're here in my grace, there's no trace of what this used to be like.
We're also going to do some quick
For you,
excavating of
I wanna stay
other plants that are getting too big for their pots.
for you. I wanna stay sober.
I think this one needs to get in a bigger pot.
I'm gonna feel my heart lying next to you. Contemplate my heart and feel you understood. I'll never think about that feeling that I love. Wasting all my life on a mediocre. I wanna stay sober. I just wanna show up that I can stay sober. I just wanna show up. For you, I'll never be sober. With you, with you.
just a box of souvenirs. 'Cause maybe,
Gucci.
Good.
I like to recycle soil, so I put macadamia nut shells that I've already eaten and cracked and ate in the soil. So this is just soil that has been sitting out there until I don't touch that bottom and don't feel like I'm killing the roots, then I'm not going to take it out. But since I've already hit that bottom,
California makes you smile.
let's see. Don't need that much soil. I'm just going to put this extra soil right here.
Them to kill the sun in the light.
So let's see where I can tell that this hasn't been growing as nice and fast as it could have because it doesn't have very many roots.
That you just stuck where you are.
There we go, these are the roots, you guys.
But to me, the only thing that
Pretty weak for this type of plant. This plant deserves to have more roots, and it's going to be very happy soon.
in the dark. Say what you want. I'm safe in my love's arms. I'm always leaving the best things behind. Oh, how long those late nights alone. I search the world over,
Mouthing it.
but still I can't
goes.
find a better place than in your arms. I wish that I was
And cover it until where the leaves are, because it needs to reroot in here. And we want to make sure that it's supported.
Strangers, that they're only friends you've never met. But the more I fall into adventure, the further from
And I kind of moving the dirt kind of centered and kind of pinching it so that it can feel even more supported as it grows in there.
I'm safe in
And
my
I'm going to pat that down like a little mound.
I'm always leaving the best things behind. Oh, how long those
Has
late
nice
nights
macadamia shells for it to be
I
fertilized.
searched the world over, but still I
I'm
can't
just going to add a little extra soil on top.
place than in your arms. I wish that I was in your arms tonight.
To save yourself some money, you can use non-organic on just houseplants that you're not going to get any fruit from and you're not going to eat. You don't really need organic soil. Ironically, should be cheaper than regular soil that you have to add things to it.
It's all you're all
Get most of your soil, make sure all that soil is being utilized. Because we can always recycle the soil by using our compost nutrients.
There's late nights and mornings. I search the world over, but still I can't find a better place than in your arms. I wish that I was in your arms, a better place than in your arms.
And this should get big enough where the leaves are going to start going all the way down. It's going to look beautiful. Alright, so we did 2. Hooray! We have 1 more to repot.
I got up late again today, and I'm scared of everything. I don't dare to dream. I got a dark imagination. These hours waste away, a debt I'll never pay. Worry.
So this should be potted in
It's funny how it changes.
a bigger pot than this, but it's better than what it was in before.
Am I jaded?
So I'm going to go ahead and put it in there.
Am I meant to feel this way? I'm a loser, getting beat by my own pain. But if I falter, well, at least it was my mistake. I saw my friend today. She tried to comfort me, but I turned her away. There's magic in this mystery.
Here we go, recycling some soil.
So no matter what you say, I don't think I'll ever change. Worry, oh. It's funny how it changes when nothing really changes at all. Am I jaded? Am I meant to feel this way? I'm a loser, getting beat by my own game. But if I falter,
Just going around it. I don't know where those roots are, so I don't want to bother them. Just going around the whole soil.
Cause I choose to be
Kind of like
this
cutting
way.
out a hole with your finger.
I'm a loser.
Then I'm going to give it a nice pat.
I self-deprecate.
They naturally want to
So
come
when
out.
I falter, well, at least it was my mistake.
I'm going to pinch two ends. Do a nice little blend.
I don't give a damn
Oh yeah,
about
it was
anyone
suffocating in there.
says. I don't wanna think about anything. I don't wanna think about anything.
This one should actually
And
go
I
in
don't
here.
really care about what anyone says. I don't need opinions hanging over my head. I don't really care about anything. I don't really care. I don't really care at all. Am I jaded? Am I meant to feel this way? I'm a loser, getting beat by my own game. But if I falter, well, at least it was my mistake. Well, at least it was my mistake. Cause I choose to be this way. I'm a loser. I self-deprecate. So when I falter, well, at least it was my mistake. Well, at least it was my mistake. Well, at least it was my mistake.
I just did a quick switcheroo, if you guys didn't notice. Because I noticed that the roots on that desert rose plant didn't have much roots, so it doesn't need as much space as this one does. Still see the roots, so it's good. Just gonna adjust it in there. It's not unusual because it's growing roots on the top of it as well.
It's always the same as always. It's a game that we play. No one's safe. Maximize all the pleasure, even if all this weather. Nothing can make it better. Maximize all the pleasure. Maximize all the pleasure, even if all this weather. Nothing can make it better. Maximize all the pleasure. Does sex even sell anymore? I feel like I've seen it all. Or maybe I'm just old. Or maybe I'm just bored. Maximize all the pleasure, even if all this weather. Nothing can make it better. Maximize all the pleasure. Maximize all the pleasure, even if all this weather. Nothing can make it better. Maximize all the pleasure.
after you just repotted something. It's growing roots usually. I'm happy I've kept these plants alive for several months now, so I'm really proud of myself.
Maximize all the pleasure, even with all this weather, nothing can make it better. Maximize all the pleasure, maximize all the pleasure, even with all this weather, nothing can make it better. Maximize all the pleasure.
Bada bing, bada boom.
Voices too loud, there's a crowd coming down. Say down, are you the same? Am I not?
Alright. Hello. Hi Clayton, I came to remind you you need to go pee. Yeah. Hi Static. We just finished doing a whole gardening segment and I'm kind of beat, so I am gonna head out now, but try to tune in next time and feel free to check out the repeat if you want to get some help on learning how to have some green thumbs and planting some seeds of your own.
Would you make it unannounced? Keep it to myself, yeah, I think too.